You are not limited by what your senses tell you. You are not confined to the world that appears before you, for you are the creator of all that you see, feel, and experience. Within you lies an unshakable power, a power that allows you to shape your reality with the simple act of assuming the desired state. When you truly understand this, you will see that there are no barriers to your growth, no limitations to your potential, and no reason why you cannot achieve both the height you wish to attain and the wealth you deserve. Everything you experience in the physical world is a reflection of what you have assumed in your mind. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, they are the architects of your reality. If you wish to manifest a greater height, you must first assume that you are already the person you wish to be. See yourself standing tall, full of confidence and strength, as if you have already reached your desired height. Feel it in your body, as though the very cells of your being are expanding upwards. Allow that feeling to settle within you, and with it you will align yourself to the reality that reflects this assumption. Likewise, wealth does not come from striving, from struggling, or from endlessly pursuing what you think you must have. It comes from the recognition that you are already abundant, you are already worthy of the riches you desire. Assume the state of being wealthy and do not doubt it for a second. Visualize yourself living the life you want, surrounded by abundance, comfortable in luxury, and free to create as you desire. Let go of any thoughts of lack, for they only serve to keep you from the wealth that is already yours. Assume with absolute certainty that your wealth is here now, and watch as the world bends to reflect this assumption. As you assume the feeling of being tall and wealthy, do not let the external world sway you. Do not wait for evidence before you believe it is so. The world must conform to your inner state, for it is only a mirror of your thoughts and feelings. The key to transformation lies not in waiting for the outside to change, but in changing within. The moment you decide with unshakable belief that you are tall and wealthy, you are already on the path to your manifestation. You may wonder, how long will it take? How will it happen? These are questions born from doubt. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the world begins to rearrange itself to bring your desires into your experience. Time is not your enemy. It is simply the interval in which your assumptions take shape. Trust that all is unfolding perfectly, and that your assumption, once planted, will grow into the full manifestation of your desired reality. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all within you. You need not seek them outside of yourself. They are already yours, waiting for you to assume them. So stand tall in your assumption, live wealthy in your heart and mind, and trust that as you do, the world will reflect your inner state in ways far beyond your current understanding. The transformation you seek is inevitable, for you are the creator of your world, and what you assume to be true, you will soon see as fact. There is no power greater than the power within you, for it is from this inner strength that your entire world is formed. You are not at the mercy of circumstances or fate, nor are you bound by the limitations that others have imposed upon you. You are a creator, and your creations spring forth from the assumptions you hold deep within. The truth is, you are already everything you wish to be. You already possess everything you wish to have. It is only through the recognition of this truth and the steadfast assumption of your desires that you bring them into your reality. In the silence of your mind, you must claim what is already yours. To manifest your desired height, to step into the fullness of your being, you must first see yourself as tall. You must embody that which you seek to become. In every thought, in every moment, envision yourself standing tall, strong, proud, and confident. The height you seek is not something that exists outside of you. It is something that is already present within your mind, within your belief, within your heart. The more you embody this belief, the more the outer world will conform to it. You are not waiting for the physical growth of your body to catch up. You are already the person you seek to be in spirit, and that spirit will shape your physical form. Your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions, these are the forces that shape your physical world. You must no longer rely on the evidence of your senses, for the senses tell you only what is already manifested. But you, as the creator, have the power to transcend what the senses present to you. You are not subject to what is, you are the master of what will be. As you assume the state of being tall, do not doubt it, and do not be swayed by the evidence that appears before you. Assume with every fiber of your being that you are tall. The moment you do this, you have taken the first step towards your manifestation. Your body will begin to align with your inner assumption, your posture will shift, your presence will grow, and the world will begin to reflect this new truth about you. You are no longer bound by the old image you had of yourself, for you have embraced a new image, a new assumption. This is the power of the law of assumption. It does not ask you to work harder, to struggle more, or to fight against the current of life. It asks you to assume that which you desire, to take on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to live as though what you desire is already here. When you live in the assumption of your desires, the universe must align with your inner vision. Your external world will shift to reflect what you have already assumed to be true within yourself. Even the key is in the assumption, in the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, already true, and already manifesting in your experience. When it comes to wealth, the same principle applies. The idea that you must toil endlessly, struggle for every penny, or wait for some external circumstance to change in order for you to become wealthy is an illusion. Wealth is not a distant goal, nor is it something that you need to chase after. Wealth is a state of being. It is an inner realization that abundance flows freely to you, and that you are worthy of all the riches the world has to offer. Wealth is not about the money in your bank account or the possessions you accumulate. It is about the consciousness of abundance. It is the recognition that you are already rich, that your desires are already met, and that the universe is constantly providing for you. The moment you assume the state of wealth, you begin to live from that assumption. You no longer worry about how you will acquire wealth, because you know it is already yours. You know that money flows effortlessly to you because you have assumed the state of being wealthy. The law of assumption does not ask you to wait for external circumstances to change. It asks you to change within, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. When you assume that you are wealthy, you begin to think, feel, and act as a wealthy person would. You begin to see opportunities for wealth where you once saw obstacles. You begin to make decisions from the place of abundance, knowing that you are always supported, always provided for. The more you assume this state of wealth, the more your reality shifts to reflect it. Your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. The more you assume that you are wealthy, the more the universe responds to that assumption, bringing you opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that align with your new belief. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and taking the right actions to manifest your wealth. But it all begins with the assumption that you are already. Do not be deceived by appearances. The world you see around you is not the true reality. It is a reflection of the assumptions you have made. If you have assumed that you are lacking, that wealth is out of your reach, or that your height is fixed, then that is what you will experience. But if you change your assumptions, if you begin to assume that you are tall and wealthy, the world will reflect that back to you. This is the magic of the law of assumption. It is not about effort, struggle, or hard work. It is about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. The more you live in this assumption, the more your world will change to match it. The more you feel the emotions of already having your desires, the more the universe will bring them to you. The path to manifesting your desired height and wealth is simple. Assume, without a doubt, that it is already yours. Assume that you are already the person you wish to become. Assume that the wealth you desire is already flowing into your life. Assume that your height is already exactly what you want it to be. Do not question it, do not doubt it, and do not wait for evidence to show up before you believe it. Believe it now, and watch as the world bends to match your assumption. You must trust in the power of your mind, for it is your mind that shapes your reality. Your mind is the creative force behind all that you experience. The moment you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, you have set the wheels of creation into motion. The universe must respond to your assumption, for it is the law. Just as a seed planted in the soil will eventually grow into a plant, so too will your assumptions grow into reality. They bring forth a shift into energy. But you must be patient. The world may take time to reflect your inner assumptions, but this is only because the physical world operates according to a different time frame. The seed of your assumption has already been planted, and in time it will bloom into the manifestation of your desires. Trust in the process, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly according to the law. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all already within you. They are not distant goals to be chased after, but rather states of being to be assumed. You are not waiting for the world to change, you are changing within. And as you change, so too will the world around you. Do not be deceived by the appearance of things. Your current circumstances are only a reflection of past assumptions. The moment you begin to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, your world will begin to change. Your height will increase, your wealth will manifest, and all that you desire will come to you. You are the creator of your reality. You are the master of your own fate. And as you assume the state of the person you wish to become, the universe will conspire to bring your desires to fruition. Trust in the power of assumption and trust in your ability to create the life you desire. Your height, your wealth, your dreams, they are all waiting for you to assume them into being. And when you do, the world will shift to reflect the truth of your inner state. Within the deep recesses of your mind lies the power to create the world you wish to experience. It is not outside of you, it is not something you must struggle for or chase after. It has always been within you, waiting for you to acknowledge it, to embrace it fully. You are not a passive observer in this world, you are the active creator of it. Every thought you think, every belief you hold is shaping your reality in real time. God said to me, "You are not at the mercy of the world, you are the master of it." Once you understand this truth, once you grasp the full magnitude of your power, everything you have ever desired can be yours. There is a quiet power that comes when you begin to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. It is subtle yet profound, transforming not only the way you see the world, but also the way the world responds to you. The moment you begin to assume that you are tall, the very essence of your being will shift to align with that assumption. You will no longer see yourself as someone who lacks height, someone who is constrained by their physical limitations. You will embody the person you wish to be, and in doing so your body will respond. The change may seem gradual at first, but over time it will become undeniable. As you assume the state of the tall person, you will find yourself standing taller, carrying yourself with more confidence, and seeing the world from a higher vantage point. This is the way of creation, the way of manifestation. It is not about forcing things to happen, nor is it about waiting for some external force to give you permission. It is about assuming the truth of your desire, the feeling of it, and living from that assumption every single day. When you assume that you are already the person you wish to become, you are aligning yourself with a higher frequency, a frequency that must attract the conditions, circumstances, and opportunities necessary for your desires to materialize. In the same way, wealth is not something that you need to strive for or chase. Wealth is not an external goal that you must work tirelessly to attain. Wealth is a state of being, a consciousness that you must assume. To manifest wealth, you must first assume that you are already wealthy. This is not a mere wish or desire, it is a truth that you must live by. You must see yourself as wealthy in all aspects of your life, in your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, and your beliefs. Wealth is not just about money, it is about the abundance of life itself, the abundance of love, health, joy, and opportunity. When you assume the state of wealth, when you feel the fullness of it in every part of your being, the world must reflect that assumption. The law of assumption teaches you that the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you believe that you are lacking, that wealth is something that belongs to others but not to you, that is exactly what you will experience. But if you change your inner belief, if you begin to assume that you are wealthy, that abundance is your natural state, then the world must respond. The universe does not judge your assumptions, it merely reflects them. The moment you assume that you are wealthy, the entire fabric of reality begins to rearrange itself to reflect that truth. Opportunities, resources, and circumstances will begin to appear as if by magic, all aligning with your assumption of wealth. And do not make the mistake of thinking that wealth is just about money. Money is simply a symbol, a form of exchange, but wealth is much greater than that. Wealth is an all-encompassing state of mind. It is the belief that you are worthy of all the riches life has to offer. It is the awareness that the universe is abundant and that abundance flows freely to you. When you assume this state of being, the very laws of nature must conspire to bring your desires into manifestation. Your assumptions are the seeds that you plant in the garden of your life. Just as a seed grows into the plant it is meant to be, so too does your assumption grow into the reality it is meant to create. The assumption of wealth, like any other assumption, does not need to be forced or rushed. It simply needs to be planted, nurtured, and allowed to grow. Every time you feel the doubt creeping in, every time you begin to question whether wealth is truly possible for you, return to your assumption. Remind yourself that you are already wealthy, that abundance is already yours, and that the world must reflect this truth. In the same way, your height is not something that is fixed or unchangeable. It is not something that has been predetermined for you. It is something that can be transformed through the power of assumption. You do not need to accept the limitations that the world has placed on you. You do not need to accept what others have told you about your height. You have the power to assume the state of being tall. And as you do, the world around you must respond. Your posture will change, your physical body will adjust, and the world will begin to reflect your new state of being. You may not see the changes immediately, but that does not matter. Trust that the process is already underway. The moment you assume that you are tall, the process of transformation has already begun. The beauty of this process is that it does not require any effort or struggle. It requires only faith in the law of assumption. It requires you to trust that the assumption once made will take root and grow into the reality you seek. It requires you to live from the state of the wish fulfilled, to see yourself as tall, as wealthy, as successful, and to carry that assumption with you in every moment. When you do this, the world must conform to it. The key to manifestation is consistency. The law of assumption does not work in fits and starts. It requires you to be unwavering in your belief, to remain consistent in your assumption. Doubt may arise, fear may creep in, but you must return to your assumption with each passing moment. Remind yourself that you are already tall, that you are already wealthy, and that your desires are already fulfilled. The more you do this, the more powerful your assumption becomes, and the faster it begins to manifest in your life. Do not be fooled by the appearance of things. The external world will always reflect the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. If you believe that you are destined to be short, that wealth is something that others can have but not you, then that is what you will experience. But when you change your assumptions, when you assume that you are tall and wealthy, the entire world must shift to reflect that truth. There is no limit to what you can manifest, for you are the creator of your own reality. The power to change your height, to manifest wealth, to create the life you desire lies within you. And the only thing standing between you and your desires is your assumption. Assume that you are already the person you wish to become. Assume that your desires are already fulfilled, and trust that the world will reflect this assumption, bringing your dreams into reality. When you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, there is no need to wonder how it will happen. You do not need to figure out the steps or the process. The universe knows exactly how to bring your desires to you, and it will do so in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Your only job is to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, to live as if your desires are already a reality, and to trust that the universe will bring them to you. Fulfilled. The power of assumption is a force unlike any other. It is the key to transforming your life, to manifesting the height and wealth you desire, to creating the world you wish to live in. You are the master of your own reality, and through the power of assumption you can create anything you desire. The law of assumption is not something you need to learn or study. It is something you must embody. It is the simple act of assuming the state of the wish fulfilled and trusting that the world will reflect your inner state. When you do this, everything you have ever desired is already yours. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you embrace the truth of who you are. You are not bound by your past, by the beliefs you've been told, or by the physical world that surrounds you. The external reality is simply a reflection of your inner world, and that reflection can be changed at any moment. You are the creator of your experiences, and the law of assumption gives you the power to change the course of your life by assuming that which you wish to manifest. When you begin to see yourself as already tall, already wealthy, already successful, you are no longer waiting for the world to change around you. You are stepping into your power, stepping into the truth of your being, and the world must respond. The changes you desire will not come from striving or effort. They will come from your assumption of the state of the wish fulfilled. When you live as if your desires are already true, when you walk in the confidence of a person who has already manifested what they desire, that assumption will take root and begin to express itself in the physical world. Assume with unwavering belief that you are already the person you wish to become. If you want to manifest greater height, don't wait for the physical evidence to show up before you believe it. Assume that you are already tall, already standing at the height you desire. See yourself towering over others, standing tall with pride, and let that assumption fill every part of your being. Live in the feeling of already being tall, and the world will mirror this assumption in ways that will surprise and delight you. You will begin to walk differently, carry yourself differently, and the physical manifestation of your new height will begin to take shape, whether gradually or rapidly, depending on the strength of your assumption. It is the same with wealth. Wealth is not something that is out of your reach, nor is it something that you must wait for. Wealth is a state of mind. When you assume the state of being wealthy, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance that attracts everything you need. It is not about working harder, accumulating more, or struggling to obtain riches. It is about assuming the consciousness of wealth, knowing that you are deserving of all that the universe has to offer. Assume that you already have the wealth you desire. Live in the feeling of abundance. See yourself surrounded by the things you want, experiencing the lifestyle you have dreamed of. Let that assumption fill every part of your being, and trust that as you do, the universe must respond. Your external reality cannot help but conform to the assumption you hold within. When you feel wealthy, when you think wealthy thoughts, when you act as though you are wealthy, you create a magnetic field that draws wealth to you. Opportunities will appear where there were none before. Ideas will come to you effortlessly. People will enter your life who help bring your wealth into manifestation. But it all begins with the assumption that you are already wealthy. The world is an obedient reflection of your assumptions. It cannot help but reflect your inner beliefs. If you believe that you are not tall, if you believe that you cannot become wealthy, those beliefs will remain your reality. But when you change your assumptions, when you begin to live as if you already possess what you desire, everything changes. The external world will begin to shift to match the new assumptions you are holding. Your current circumstances are not permanent, and they do not have the power to define you. What defines you is the belief you hold in your mind. And the moment you change that belief, the world around you must shift. Wealth is not something to be earned by effort alone, nor is height something that is dictated by your past. You can change both with the power of assumption. You do not need to wait for the evidence of your desires before you believe in them. You do not need to see the physical manifestation of your wealth or your height before you assume they are already yours. The assumption comes first, and the manifestation follows. Every thought, every belief you hold is shaping your reality. If you continue to hold on to the belief that you are not tall, or that you cannot manifest wealth, then that is what will continue to appear in your experience. But if you assume the opposite, if you assume that you are tall, that you are wealthy, that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, then that is what you will experience. The outer world cannot do anything other than reflect your inner assumption. As you continue to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, do not allow the world around you to tell you that your desires are impossible. Do not let the temporary appearance of things make you doubt what you have already assumed to be true. Trust that the moment you assume something, the universe begins to move in alignment with that assumption. What may seem like an impossible dream today is simply a reflection of your past assumptions. But once you change those assumptions, once you step into the belief that you are already the person you wish to become, the universe will rearrange itself to support that new reality. You are the master of your destiny. You are not bound by your past, your circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are a powerful creator, and the only thing standing between you and your desires is your assumption. The moment you decide to assume that you are tall and wealthy, the world must conform to that assumption. The more you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the quicker your desires will come to fruition. This is not a matter of magic or luck. It is a matter of the law of assumption, a law that operates with perfect consistency. When you assume that something is true, when you embody the state of the wish fulfilled, the universe responds. It cannot do otherwise, for this is the very nature of reality. The world is not a random series of events. It is a mirror that reflects the assumptions and beliefs of those who live within it. If you assume that you are small and poor, that is what you will experience. But if you assume that you are tall and wealthy, that is the world that will appear before you. The law of assumption is simple yet powerful. It asks only one thing, that you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not wait for the evidence to appear before you believe in it. Do not wait for the world to change before you assume that it has already changed. Assume that your desires are already true and the world will follow suit. This is the way of creation, the way of manifestation. It is not about hard work or struggle, but about living in the state of your desires already being fulfilled. And when you do, the universe will move mountains to bring those desires into your reality. You have the power to transform your life. You have the power to manifest the heightened wealth you desire. It is all within your reach, all available to you right now. The only thing standing in the way is your assumption. Change your assumptions and you change your life. Assume that you are already tall and wealthy, and watch as the world responds to that assumption in ways beyond your wildest imagination. Trust in the power within you and know that everything you desire is already yours. As you stand on the threshold of this powerful truth, remember that the life you seek is not something distant or unattainable. It is already within you, waiting to be realized through the strength of your assumptions. You are not bound by limitations, nor are you at the mercy of external circumstances. The key to your transformation lies in the simple yet profound act of assuming that what you desire is already true. Assume that you are tall, assume that you are wealthy, assume that every dream you hold is already a reality. As you live from this assumption, the universe will respond in kind, bringing the conditions, opportunities, and people into your life that align with your inner state. Your world cannot help but reflect your beliefs, and as you shift your assumptions, your reality will shift with it. Trust in the power of your mind and know that you are the creator of your destiny. There is nothing you cannot manifest when you align your inner world with the life you wish to experience. The law of assumption is your guiding force, and as you live in the consciousness of the wish fulfilled, the world will bend to meet you. Your height, your wealth, your desires, they are all waiting for you to claim them. The moment you assume them to be true, they will become your reality. Trust in yourself, for you are the creator, and all that you desire is already yours. I want to talk to you today about something that's gripping the hearts of many people in this world: worry. It creeps into our minds, wraps around our souls, and before we know it, we're paralyzed by fear, doubt, and anxiety. Worry steals your sleep, it robs your peace, and it blinds your eyes to the promises of God. But I want to tell you today, there is a better way. There is a higher path. You don't have to live shackled to fear and anxiety. You don't have to try and control every step of your journey. You can stop worrying and let God lead you. You see, the human heart was never meant to carry the weight of the world. That's why we break down, that's why we wear out. We were created not to be the captain of the ship, but to trust the one who made the ocean. There is a God who sits on the throne of the universe, and he is not surprised by your circumstances. He is not caught off guard by your trials. He is not confused by your confusion. He knows the end from the beginning, and he calls you today, not to understand everything, but to trust him in everything. Some of you are worried about your future. You lie awake at night, tossing and turning, wondering how things are going to turn out. You've looked at the job market, the economy, the political climate, and you've started to panic. But my friend, has God ever failed? Has he ever broken a promise? Has he ever led his people into ruin? No. Time after time, he has shown that he is faithful. When the Israelites stood before the Red Sea, they thought it was the end. But God made a way where there was no way. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, it looked like his fate was sealed. But God shut the mouths of the lions. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next step in faith. You don't need to have the plan all figured out. You just need to know the one who holds the plan. He is a good shepherd, and when you let him lead, you shall not want. He will make you lie down in green pastures. He will lead you beside still waters. He will restore your soul. Some of you are worried about your past, haunted by mistakes, weighed down by guilt, paralyzed by shame. But the cross speaks a better word. The blood of Jesus Christ doesn't just cover your sins, it washes them away. As far as the east is from the west, So far has He removed your transgressions from you. You are not defined by your failure, you are defined by His forgiveness. So stop carrying what God already buried. Stop worrying about what's already being nailed to the cross. There is power in surrender. When you let go, God takes hold. When you stop trying to control everything, that's when you begin to see Him move. He doesn't need your perfection, He needs your surrender. He doesn't ask you to carry the burden, He asks you to cast it on Him, for He cares for you. You don't need to have all the answers, you just need to know the one who does. He sees the storm and He walks on the waves. He sees your brokenness and He brings healing. He sees your fear and He gives peace, not the peace the world gives, temporary, shallow, and weak, but the peace that passes all understanding, a peace that guards your heart and your mind, a peace that says, even if the mountains fall and the earth gives way, I will not fear, for my God is with me. Stop worrying, stop striving, stop trying to carry what only God was meant to carry. He is able, He is willing, and He is already working. Let Him lead you, let Him guide you, let Him carry you. And you will find that His way is better than anything you could have imagined. You may feel like you're standing at a crossroads right now, unsure which way to go. You've prayed, you've cried, you've asked for direction, but the road ahead still seems blurry. And the temptation is strong to take matters into your own hands, to force an outcome, to rush a decision, to grasp for control. But listen carefully. The still, small voice of God is not in the whirlwind. It's not in the fire or the earthquake. It's in the quiet whisper calling you to wait, to trust, to follow even when you can't see. Some of you are asking, how can I let God lead me when everything around me is falling apart? That's the question we all wrestle with, especially in seasons of loss, in the valley of disappointment, in the middle of heartbreak. You want answers, you want clarity, but often God doesn't give you the full picture. He gives you just enough light for the next step. That's where faith is born. That's where trust is formed. That's where you stop leaning on your own understanding and start leaning into His promises. And oh, how precious His promises are. He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He says, fear not, for I am with you. He says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. These aren't just comforting words, they are eternal truths. God is not a man that He should lie. If He said it, He will do it. If He promised it, He will fulfill it. You can stand on His word when everything else is sinking sand. Now, some of you are trying to fight battles that were never meant for you to fight alone. You're exhausted, not just physically, but spiritually. You've tried to fix everything in your own strength. You've tried to be the savior, the solution, the hero, and it's worn you down. But there's good news. You're not the savior. You're not supposed to be. The weight of the world is not on your shoulder. There is one who carried that weight to Calvary, who stretched out His arms on a wooden cross and said, it is finished. The battle belongs to the Lord. When you let God lead, you stop striving and start abiding. You stop panicking and start praying. You stop reacting and start resting. And make no mistake, resting in God is not weakness, it is power. Because when you're resting in Him, you're trusting in His sovereignty. You're declaring, God, I don't have to know what's next because I know You, and You are enough. Think about the disciples in the boat during the storm. The wind was raging, the waves were crashing, and panic had taken hold. And where was Jesus? Asleep. Not because He didn't care, but because He wasn't afraid. He knew the storm was subject to His voice. He knew the waves knew His name. And He stood up in that boat and said, peace, be still. And the storm obeyed. You need to know that the same Jesus is in your... He hasn't left you. He hasn't forgotten you. And when the time is right, He will stand and speak peace into your storm. But you have to let Him lead. You have to stop wrestling and start releasing. Worry is often rooted in the illusion of control. We think that if we can just think enough, plan enough, prepare enough, we can keep bad things from happening. But life doesn't work that way. Jesus said, Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? Worry doesn't add, it subtracts. It subtracts joy, it subtracts peace, it subtracts clarity. But trust adds, trust builds, trust sustains. Look at the birds of the air, Jesus said. They don't sow or reap or store away in barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? And yet here we are, trying to figure out tomorrow when God is already there. Here we are stressing over outcomes when God is already working all things together for our good. There is such a freedom in surrender. When you truly let go, when you open your hands and say, Lord, not my will but yours be done, something shifts in your spirit. You stop asking why and start asking what now. You stop doubting and start depending. And that's when you begin to experience the fullness of God's presence, not just in the mountaintop moments, but in the mundane, in the waiting, in the valley. That's when you begin to hear his voice more clearly, not because he's speaking louder, but because your heart has become quieter. You see, worry drowns out the whisper of God, but peace prepares the heart to hear him. And peace doesn't come from understanding every detail. It comes from knowing the one who holds every detail. You don't need a map when you have the guide. You don't need to control the journey when you know the one who designed the road. Maybe right now you're in a place of uncertainty. Maybe things didn't go the way you expected. The job didn't come through, the relationship didn't last, the diagnosis came back different than you hoped. And now you're sitting in the middle of the unknown, asking God where he is. Let me tell you, he's closer than you think. He's right there in the silence. He's in the stillness. And he's saying, be still and know that I am God. He's not in a hurry. He's not rushing your process. He's building something deeper in you. Character, resilience, dependence. Sometimes God delays the breakthrough because he's more concerned about what he's doing in you than what he's doing for you. Sometimes he withholds the answer because he wants to become the answer. You may not feel strong enough, you may not feel ready, but you don't have to be. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. You just need to show up every day with an open heart and a willing spirit. You just need to keep walking, even if it's one step at a time. You just need to keep trusting, even when nothing makes sense, because faith is not about feelings. Faith is not about everything going right. Faith is about saying, God, I believe you even when I don't see the outcome. I trust you even when the doors are closed. I'll follow you even when the path is unclear. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of trust that breaks chains. That's the kind of surrender that invites heaven to invade your circumstances. So I say to you today, stop worrying. Let it go. Hand it over. Not just part of it, all of it. Give him your future. Give him your past. Give him your fears, your doubts, your plans, your dreams. Lay them all at his feet and say, Lord, I don't want to lead anymore. I want to follow you. And when you do, you will find rest for your soul. You will find peace in the middle of the storm. You will find strength you didn't know you had. Because when God leads, he provides. When God leads, he protects. When God leads, he finishes what he starts. Keep your eyes on him. Keep your heart open. Keep your hands lifted and watch what happens when you let go of worry and let God take the lead. You may have tried to lead yourself for so long that letting go feels unnatural. You've been taught to figure it all out, to have backup plans, to always be ready to fix the problem yourself. But there comes a time when human effort runs out, when the answers don't come, when the strategies don't work. And in that moment you realize something holy. You were never meant to carry the weight of tomorrow on your shoulder. You were created for dependence, not domination. You were created for trust, not tension. This doesn't mean we sit passively doing nothing, waiting for God to drop everything into our laps. No, letting God lead doesn't mean inactivity. It means surrender. It means obeying when he speaks, even when it's hard. It means walking through doors, even when you're scared. It means being still when he says, wait, and moving when he says, go. There's a rhythm to grace, a flow to trust. It's not forced, it's not frantic, it's faithful. Do you remember the story of Abraham? God called him to leave everything he knew, his land, his family, his comfort zone, and go to a place he had never seen. There was no map, no itinerary, just a promise. I will show you. That's all Abraham had, and yet he went. He trusted. And through his obedience, God birthed a nation. What if Abraham had stayed where it was safe? What if he had refused to move without more details? He would have missed the miracle. There are miracles on the other side of your surrender, but you have to be willing to follow even when it feels uncomfortable. You have to walk even when you don't have all the answers. You have to trust that when God says go, He already knows where you're going. He's already prepared the way. He's already made provision in the desert, strength for the journey, manna for each morning. And yes, there will be detours, there will be moments when you feel lost. But don't mistake delay for denial. Don't confuse silence for absence. Sometimes God is working behind the scenes in ways you can't yet see. He's setting things in motion. He's aligning hearts. He's preparing the ground for what's to come. Your job is not to figure it out. Your job is to follow. Some of you are holding on to pain not because you want to, but because you're afraid to let go. You've built your identity around the wound, around what happened, around the rejection, the betrayal, the failure. And God is gently whispering to you now, give it to me. Let me lead you out of that place. Let me show you that your story isn't over. He wants to bring healing. But healing begins with surrender. Healing begins when you release the offense, the fear, the self-protection, and let Him lead you into freedom. God leads us not just in the public victories, but in the private battles, when no one else sees, when no one understands. He's there, leading you in the night hours, leading you through the tears, leading you through the questions. Even when you don't recognize His hand, you can trust His heart. And how does He lead? Not with a whip, not with pressure, but with love, with kindness, with patience. Like a good shepherd who calls his sheep by name, He knows you, He knows your weaknesses, your patterns, your wounds, and still He calls you, not because of who you are, but because of who He is. Letting God lead you means you start to live by faith, not by sight. You stop measuring His goodness by your circumstances. You stop needing everything to go right in order to believe He's with you. You start to walk in the confidence that says, even if I don't see the way, I know the one who is the way. You start to rest in the truth that you are not alone, not for a second, not for a heartbeat. And don't be surprised if the path God leads you on doesn't look like what you imagined. His ways are higher, His thoughts are deeper. Sometimes He leads you through the wilderness to prepare you for the promise. Sometimes He allows the storm to teach you to walk on water. Sometimes He breaks what you built because He's building something better. And through it all, He never loses control. The enemy will try to fill your mind with lies. You're not going to make it. God has forgotten you. You're all alone. But you must answer with truth. You must declare, no, my God is with me. He has plans for me, plans to prosper me and not to harm me, plans to give me a hope and a future. He has begun a good work in me, and He will be faithful to complete it. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can pick up the worry, or you can pick up the Word. You can live in anxiety, or you can live in assurance. You can carry the burden, or you can cast it on the one who cares for you. This isn't a one-time decision. It's daily, sometimes hourly, and it's worth it every time. Because when you let God lead, you start to live differently. You start to see with spiritual eyes. You begin to notice His fingerprints in the small things, the way He brings the right person into your life at the right time, the way He opens one door and closes another for your protection, the way He gives you strength when you thought you had none left, the way peace comes when it shouldn't, the way joy rises from ashes, This is the life of trust. It's not perfect, it's not always easy, but it's beautiful. Because it's real, it's grounded, it's rooted in the one who does not change. Everything else in life will shift. People will come and go. Seasons will rise and fall. But God is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. You can trust Him, you can lean on Him, you can follow Him all the way home. So when the fear comes, and it will, don't try to fight it alone. Take it to the Lord. When the doubt creeps in, and it will, don't entertain it. Remind yourself of what He's already done. When the path seems too dark, and sometimes it will, take one small step of faith, and another, and another. That's how He leads us, step by step, grace by grace. Let God be your shepherd. Let Him guide your steps. Let Him restore your soul. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to trust the one who already does. And as you let Him lead, you'll begin to realize something powerful. Peace is not found in the absence of trouble. It's found in the presence of God. And He is here right now, closer than your breath, ready to carry you, ready to guide you, ready to do more than you could ask or imagine. Just let go and let Him lead. There's something remarkable that happens when a soul finally yields. When a heart weary from trying, striving, and straining finally says, God, I can't do this anymore, not in my strength. That moment, though it feels like weakness, is the gateway to real strength. That surrender, though it feels like loss, is the beginning of true gain. Because that is when the power of God begins to flow, not into your polished plans, not into your careful blueprints, but into your open hands. And I believe that's what God is waiting for, not perfection, not performance, just permission. He won't force His way in. He waits for you to say, lead me, Lord. I'm tired of leading myself. I've tried to be in charge, and all it's brought me is fear, pressure, and confusion. I need you. That's the moment the burden starts to lift. That's the moment His peace begins to settle over your chaos. And that's the moment you stop carrying what only God can carry. Sometimes we don't even realize how much we've been trying to hold on to until we start to let go. You may have been carrying silent burdens, questions you don't speak out loud, expectations no one else knows you've placed on yourself, timelines you've silently created in your mind. You thought you had to hold it all together. You thought you had to keep smiling, keep pushing, keep pretending that everything was under control. But deep down, you're tired. Deep down, your soul is aching for rest. And that's what Jesus offers. Not just rest for your body, but rest for your soul. He said, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. What a promise! Not just a nap, not just a break, but real, lasting rest. Rest that quiets the noise, rest that silences the lies, rest that fills the empty places. He's not just asking you to follow Him in the big decisions. He's inviting you to trust Him with the unseen corners of your life. You may wonder, how do I know I can trust Him? Look at the cross. Look at what He gave for you. He didn't withhold His only Son. He didn't turn away when the nails pierced His hands. He didn't stop the plan when it became painful. He endured it all for you, so that you could know that you are loved fully and forever. If He gave everything to rescue your soul, why would He not also lead you tenderly through every step of your life? Sometimes we mistake delay for denial, but just because God hasn't moved yet doesn't mean He isn't moving. Just because the door hasn't opened doesn't mean He isn't preparing the way. Sometimes He's working on things in you before He works through you. Sometimes He's stripping away what you thought you needed to show you what you truly need. Trusting God doesn't always look like soaring. Sometimes it looks like staying. Sometimes it looks like waiting when everything in you wants to run. Sometimes it means walking away from the good so He can lead you to the best. And when you're in those in-between seasons, between the promise and the fulfillment, between the prayer and the answer, those are the places where trust is refined. That's where faith grows deeper roots. That's where you stop needing to know all the answers and start needing more of Him. And isn't that the goal? Not just to get where you're going, but to know who walks beside you on the journey. He knows the way, He is the way, and He never leads without purpose. Every step, even the detours, are woven into a divine plan. You may think you've taken a wrong turn, but God has a way of using every path, even the broken ones, to bring you right where you need to be. He's not looking at your life and thinking, oops, I didn't see that coming. He sees the whole picture. He sees the pain, the confusion, the loss, and He still says, follow me. There's safety in His leadership. You may not always understand it, but you can trust it. You may not see the full view, but you can take the next step. Because He doesn't need you to be the hero of the story. He is the author and the finisher. He started it, and He will complete it. All He asks is that you trust Him in the middle. Some of you are walking through a fire right now, and maybe you're thinking, if God is leading me, why is it still so hard? But let me remind you, He never promised an easy path. He promised His presence. He never said the waters wouldn't rise, but He said they wouldn't sweep over you. He never said the flames wouldn't come, but He said they wouldn't consume you. He doesn't remove every obstacle, but He walks with you through them. And sometimes it's in the fire that you see Him most clearly. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood in the flames, they didn't walk out alone. A fourth man was in the fire with them, one who looked like the Son of God. That's what happens when you trust Him. He doesn't always pull you out immediately, but He always steps in with you, and His presence changes everything. You may feel like you're surrounded right now by pressure, by doubt, by fear, but you're not defeated, because the one who surrounds you is greater than whatever surrounds your situation. The one who leads you has already conquered the grave. He's not leading you toward death. He's leading you toward life. And that means even when it feels like everything is falling apart, He's holding it all together. The world will try to offer you a counterfeit peace, temporary fixes, shallow comforts, but they don't last. They don't satisfy. Only God can fill the deep places. Only His peace remains when the storm hits. Only His presence anchors your soul. And that's why you don't need to worry. Not because your situation is simple, not because your future is all mapped out, but because your God is faithful. He doesn't change, He doesn't waver, He doesn't abandon His children. You can lay your head down at night knowing that while you sleep, He watches over you. You can face tomorrow knowing that He's already in it. You can walk forward without fear because He's leading the way. So keep your eyes on Him. Don't get distracted by the noise. Don't let worry steal your joy. Don't let fear steal your future. Keep your eyes fixed on the one who called you. Keep walking even when the road is rough. Keep trusting even when it's dark. Keep surrendering even when it hurts, because the one who called you is faithful, and He will lead you all the way. And when you look back one day, you'll see it so clearly. You'll see how He was guiding you when you didn't even know it. You'll see how He was working in the waiting. You'll see how every step, every turn, every delay had a purpose. You'll see His fingerprints all over your story, and you'll say, thank God I let go. Thank God I let Him lead. You'll realize that it wasn't your effort that carried you. It was His grace. It wasn't your strength that sustained you. It was His Spirit. It wasn't your plans that succeeded. It was His faithfulness that never failed. And it all began when you stopped worrying and let God lead. Sometimes we think surrender is the end, but in God's hands, surrender is the beginning. The moment you release control is the moment you start to see clearly. Not because the fog lifts all at once, but because your heart shifts. You stop asking God to follow your plans, and you start asking to follow His. And something amazing happens when that shift takes place. Your soul starts to breathe again. Your burden gets lighter, your steps feel steadier. You begin to live from a place of peace rather than pressure. So many of us carry silent expectations, how things should go, when they should happen, who should stay in our lives, and what success should look like. And when life doesn't match that mental picture, we start to panic. We assume something's wrong. We assume God has forgotten us. But what if God is saving you from a version of life that's smaller than what He had in mind? What if His no is really a setup for a better yes? What if the doors that didn't open were His way of protecting you from what you couldn't yet see? This is the mystery of trust. It doesn't always make sense in the moment. It requires patience. It calls for humility. It demands that we acknowledge God as the author, not just the helper. Too often we treat God like an assistant. We want Him to help us achieve our vision, accomplish our dreams, fix our problems. But He is not our assistant, He is our Lord. And when we truly let Him lead, we stop building our little kingdoms and start living for something eternal. It takes courage to trust a God you cannot see, but it also takes faith to recognize that He sees the whole picture. You see a piece, He sees the masterpiece. You see the moment, He sees the meaning. You see the obstacle, He sees the opportunity. So when He says wait, it's not punishment, it's preparation. When He says not yet, it's not rejection, it's protection. When He closes a door, it's not because He's unkind, it's because He's leading you toward the one He ordained. Letting God lead means embracing His timing, not just His promises. It means believing He's good even when the path feels hard. It means trusting that the hand that holds the universe also holds your heart. And if He's holding your heart, you don't need to fear what's next. You don't need to wake up every morning weighed down by what might happen. You can walk into each day with confidence, knowing that your life is in the hands of the one who made you. It's not just about the big moments either. It's about the daily decisions. It's about choosing prayer over panic. It's about giving thanks when things don't go your way. It's about asking God what He wants to do in you, not just around you. You begin to realize that following Jesus isn't just about destination, it's about transformation. It's about becoming more like Him as you walk with Him. And that transformation often comes in the waiting, in the wandering, in the wilderness. We don't like the wilderness. It feels dry, slow, painful. But the wilderness is where God trains His people. It's where He burns away the pride. It's where He teaches dependence. It's where He becomes not just a concept, but your daily bread. It's where you stop looking for shortcuts and start listening for His voice. Don't despise the process. Don't rush what God is shaping in you. The same God who parts the sea is the one who leads step by step. And sometimes He lets you walk through things so that when you come out, you're not just delivered, you're different. You're deeper. You're stronger. You're no longer trying to control everything because now you know who's in control. This kind of trust, this radical surrendered trust, doesn't come from a sermon. It comes from walking with God. It's built in the moments when you had nothing else to hold on to but His Word. It's formed in the valleys, not just the victories. It's forged in the fire, not just the comfort. And once you taste it, you never want to go back to the old way of living, gripping everything tightly, worrying about what's next, chasing after things that can't satisfy. Letting God lead brings you to a different rhythm. It's slower than the world's pace, but it's deeper, it's steadier. It doesn't panic when things go wrong. It listens before it speaks. It worships even when it hurts. It rejoices even when it waits. It doesn't need to compete or compare because it's grounded in the love of the Father. It knows that everything you need flows from Him. Not from people, not from achievements, not from success, but from Him. And when you walk in that rhythm, your perspective changes. You stop asking, what can I get? And you start asking, who can I become? You stop measuring your life by outcomes and start measuring it by obedience. You stop needing a life that looks impressive and start desiring a heart that's fully surrendered. God is not looking for polished people. He's looking for available people. People who will say yes before they see the whole picture. People who will go where He sends them. People who will trust His heart even when they don't understand His hand. People who will say, God, I don't need to lead anymore. I just want to follow You. And friend, when you live that way, the pressure lifts. Because now you're no longer trying to prove yourself. You're no longer trying to earn love that was already given. You're no longer trying to hold up your world. You're letting Him hold you. And He's never dropped anyone who trusted in Him, not once. He's faithful to the end. So let your heart rest in that today. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to have the perfect plan. You just have to trust the one who does. He's not in a rush. He's not overwhelmed. He's not unsure about your future. He is your shepherd. He is your refuge. He is your peace. And He's already ahead of you, making a way, opening doors, healing wounds, restoring what was broken, rewriting stories. He's doing more than you can see, more than you can imagine, more than you even know to pray for. So keep showing up, keep trusting, keep surrendering, because the life that God leads is the only life worth living. One step at a time, one prayer at a time, one moment of surrender at a time. And in the end, you'll look back not with regret, not with fear, but with awe. And you'll say, God, You were with me the whole way. You led me better than I ever could have led myself. And that is the testimony of a life fully surrendered. Not one without trouble, but one with peace. Not one without questions, but one with unshakable trust. Not one without storms, but one where the anchor held. Because the one who leads never fails. And when the world pulls you in every direction, telling you to take control, to hustle harder, to figure it all out by your own might, there's a quiet whisper calling you back, calling you home. A whisper that says, be still and know that I am God. Not just know about Him, not just believe He exists, but know Him personally, intimately, truly, to know His character, His faithfulness, His goodness. That kind of knowing silences the chaos. That kind of knowing drives out fear. That kind of knowing gives you the confidence to take your hands off the wheel and let Him lead. You begin to realize that trust is not passive, it's powerful. It's not weakness, it's warfare. It's choosing to believe God's truth over the lies screaming in your mind. It's choosing to stand still when everything in you wants to run back to what's familiar. It's choosing to praise when nothing makes sense, because praise is not based on circumstances. It's based on who God is, and He doesn't change. Some of you have been carrying disappointment like a second skin. Prayers you've prayed that haven't been answered, at least not in the way you hoped. Doors that closed, relationships that ended, loss that left you with unanswered questions. And the enemy wants to use that pain to make you doubt the goodness of God. He wants to whisper that if God really loved you, things would have gone differently. But friend, let me tell you, God's love for you is not proven by the presence of easy days. It's proven by the cross. And nothing in your life, no setback, no loss, no unanswered question can undo what He did for you on that hill called Calvary. He knows what He's doing, even when it doesn't look like it. Sometimes God's greatest gifts come wrapped in trials. Sometimes the very thing you wish He'd take away is the thing He's using to bring you closer to His heart. And if you stay close, if you keep walking, keep trusting, keep letting Him lead, you'll see it. You'll see how the detour wasn't a delay, but a divine direction. You'll see how the heartbreak wasn't the end, but a door to deeper healing. You'll see how the silence wasn't absence, but an invitation to press in closer. Because when God leads, He leads with purpose. He doesn't waste your pain. He doesn't overlook your tears. He catches every one. He hears every groan that words can't express. And even when you can't feel Him, He's working. Even when you can't see the outcome, He's weaving something eternal. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And you are not walking alone. When you begin to truly let God lead, you start to see the difference between pressure and purpose. The world says, prove yourself. God says, let me be your proof. The world says, be strong. God says, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. The world says, figure it out. God says, lean not on your own understanding. There is a deep rest in following God, even in the middle of movement. Because your soul no longer depends on external things to feel secure. You are grounded in something unshakable. But make no mistake, letting God lead doesn't mean life will always be simple. There will still be storms. There will still be valleys. There will still be moments that test everything you believe. But what changes is how you face them. You stop reacting from fear and start responding from faith. You stop living for approval and start walking in identity. You stop clinging to outcomes and start resting in obedience. There's power in obedience, even when it's quiet, even when it's not seen by others, even when it doesn't feel significant. When you let God lead, no step is wasted, no prayer is unheard, no act of faith is small. He sees it all, and He honors those who follow Him with a pure heart. It might mean taking a path that looks different from the crowd. It might mean letting go of good things so you can grab hold of God things. It might mean choosing forgiveness over bitterness, faith over fear, patience over pressure. But when you let Him lead, you begin to realize that His path leads to life. Not just eternal life, but abundant life right here, right now. A life full of peace that doesn't make sense, joy that runs deeper than circumstances, and love that never runs out. You begin to carry a quiet confidence, not in yourself, but in your Savior. People around you will wonder how you stay calm in the chaos, how you keep your joy when things fall apart, how you move forward without a plan B. And you'll be able to say, it's not me, it's the one who leads me. Because now your life becomes a testimony, not of your wisdom, not of your strength, but of His faithfulness. And as He leads you, you begin to see more clearly, not just what He's doing, but who He is. You start to know His voice. You start to sense His direction. You start to recognize His hand in your story. And that intimacy, that nearness, that's the real reward. That's what makes it all worth it. The greatest treasure isn't what He gives, it's who He is. And when you have Him, you have everything. So keep going, keep surrendering, keep letting go of worry, fear, control. You don't have to know the next 10 steps, just take the one He's showing you. You don't have to have all the answers, just trust the one who is the answer. You don't have to strive anymore, just follow, just rest. Just believe that the God who created you, saved you, and called you is able to lead you all the way. And oh, how He will, not with force, but with grace, not with fear, but with love, not with confusion, but with peace. His leadership doesn't enslave, it sets free. His guidance doesn't limit, it enlarges. His ways don't confine, they fulfill. Because when God leads, He leads you not just to the destination, but to your true identity in Him. So even if the road is long, even if the way is hard, even if the path winds through places you didn't expect, keep your eyes on Him. Don't look to the right or to the left. Don't be swayed by noise or distraction. Don't let the world define what success looks like. Let God define your story. Let Him write the pages. Let Him take the pen out of your hand and do what only He can do. Because the moment you stop worrying, the moment you truly let go, that's when your life begins to align with heaven. That's when your heart begins to find real peace. That's when you realize that every moment of surrender is not a loss but a victory. Not a weakness, but the very place where God's strength is made perfect. So lean into Him. Trust Him more today than you did yesterday. Open your hands, lift your heart, and walk forward in faith, knowing the one who goes before you is faithful, powerful, and good. Let Him lead, and you will never be the same. So today, wherever you are, whatever you're facing, make the decision deep in your heart to stop worrying and let God lead you. Let him into every corner of your life. Trust him not just with your Sundays, but with your Mondays, your midnights, your mess. Give him your plans, your questions, your fears, your future. Let go of the weight you were never meant to carry, and take hold of the peace you were always meant to live in. He is ready to lead you not just through the easy days, but through every valley, every storm, every unknown. And if you follow him, if you truly surrender, you'll find something greater than control. You'll find freedom. You'll find peace. You'll find purpose. Because the safest, strongest, most beautiful place you could ever be is right in the center of God's will. Let him lead you, and you will never be lost. We are creators, sculptors of our lives, molding each experience with our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The mind, vast and powerful, holds within it keys to the manifestation of our deepest desires. But here's the truth: many struggle to grasp what you seek, you already possess. This is not an abstract philosophical concept, but a reality, as real as the breath you take. The fulfillment of your desires, whatever they may be, already exists in the world within you. The art, the true mastery, is in realizing this truth and aligning your outer reality with that inner knowing. We live in a world that constantly tells us to work harder and push further to achieve what we want. While effort is part of the process, it is not the entirety of it. The secret to manifestation lies in the power of assumption. To assume that your desire is already fulfilled is to transcend the limitations of the external world and move into a dimension where your wish is a reality. When you assume something, you accept it as true without requiring physical proof. It becomes a part of you, a certainty that reshapes the world around you. Imagine for a moment you're in a theater watching a film. As the movie unfolds, you become engrossed in the characters, the drama, the highs and lows of their journey. But then a realization dawns on you: this is a script, carefully crafted with every scene, every dialogue already predetermined. You no longer worry about the outcome because you understand that the conclusion has already been written. Life is much like that theater experience. The script of your desires has already been written. The outcomes, the success, the love, the abundance you crave, they exist. But you must shift your perspective to recognize that you are not merely an observer. In this theater, you are both the audience and the director. You have the power to alter the scenes, rewrite the dialogue, and shape the narrative. But how do we do this? By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. What you feel deeply, you will manifest. Your emotions are the compass, guiding you toward the realization of your desires. When you feel something as though it is already real, you bring it into your world. Many of us go through life chasing after goals, thinking that the attainment of those goals will bring the emotions we seek: joy, fulfillment, love. But the truth is that those emotions are the catalyst, not the result. Think of a time when you desired something intensely: a job, a relationship, a goal. Now remember how you felt when you received it. The feeling of accomplishment or satisfaction wasn't something external. It was an internal response to the fulfillment of your desire. What if you could tap into that feeling before the physical manifestation? This is the key. You must feel now as though your wish has already been fulfilled. This may seem challenging at first. We are so used to looking at our external circumstances for validation that it feels unnatural to assume that what we want is already ours. But the outer world is simply a reflection of the inner. It is a mirror that reflects back to us the state of our consciousness. When you change your internal state, the outer world must shift to align with it. To live in the end means to carry within yourself the belief that your desire is not something distant, not something that will happen someday, but rather it is happening now. It is here. You must embody the person who has already achieved the goal. How would you feel if your wish were fulfilled? How would you act? How would your daily life change? Begin to walk, speak, and think as if your desire is a present reality. If you seek abundance, live in the mindset of abundance. If you desire love, carry the feeling of being deeply loved. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself into a false state of mind. It is about genuinely shifting your inner consciousness to reflect the outcome you desire. You become the living embodiment of your wish fulfilled, and as you do, the outer world must conform. Let us consider this principle in the context of a simple analogy. Picture yourself planting a seed in the ground. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that it will bloom in its own time. You water it, give it sunlight, and nurture it, knowing that beneath the surface, life is stirring. In the same way, when you plant the seed of a desire in your mind, trust that it is growing. Do not dig it up with doubt or impatience. Nurture it with faith, and it will blossom. Consciousness is the foundation of all creation. Everything you experience in the outer world is a projection of your inner state. Your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions shape the circumstances of your life. If you believe in lack, you will experience lack. If you believe in abundance, you will experience abundance. The law of consciousness is impartial. It does not judge whether your thoughts are positive or negative. It simply reflects back to you the state of your inner world. This is why it is so essential to guard your thoughts and emotions. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. Every moment of every day, you are shaping your reality through your consciousness. If you focus on fear, doubt, and worry, those emotions will become the fabric of your experiences. But if you focus on love, joy, and fulfillment, your life will transform in ways you cannot even imagine. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the world outside of you must change before you can feel at peace. But the reverse is true. When you shift your inner state, the world around you will naturally shift to reflect that change. The circumstances you face are simply the result of your past consciousness. If you want to change your future, you must begin by changing your present consciousness. The past is gone, the future has not yet come. The only moment that exists is now. And it is in this present moment that all creation takes place. When you dwell in the past, you recreate the same patterns of thought and experience. When you worry about the future, you bring anxiety into your present. But when you focus on the now, you have the power to shape your life in any direction you choose. In this present moment, you can choose to align with the reality of your wish fulfilled. It does not matter what has happened in the past. It does not matter what obstacles seem to stand in your way. The only thing that matters is how you feel and what you believe right now. Begin to feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace of having your desire already realized. Feel it so deeply that it becomes a part of you. Your inner world will begin to shift, and soon the outer world will follow. It must, because the outer world is merely a reflection of the inner. One of the most common obstacles people face when manifesting their desires is the need to control the how. We often get caught up in the details, trying to figure out the exact steps that will lead to the fulfillment of our wish. But this need for control is rooted in doubt and fear. When you truly believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you do not worry about how it will come to pass. You trust that the universe will arrange the circumstances, people, and events necessary to bring your desire into reality. Let go of the need to control the process. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Trust in the unfolding of the universe. Trust that the same power that created the stars and the oceans is working within you to manifest your desires. You do not need to know how it will happen. You only need to know that it will happen. Consider a river flowing steadily toward the ocean. The river does not question how it will reach its destination. It simply flows, trusting that the path will unfold before it. In the same way, you must trust that the path to your desire will reveal itself as you move forward in faith. One of the most important aspects of this process is persistence. It is not enough to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled for a few moments and then revert to old patterns of thought. You must persist in this assumption until it becomes second nature. The mind holds the immense power to shape our reality. Within every thought and belief lies the seed of creation, waiting to take form in the external world. The key to unlocking this potential, however, is not through struggle or sheer effort alone, but through the subtle yet profound act of assumption. Assumption, in this context, is the act of accepting as true the reality of what you desire, without needing any proof from the physical world. It is about knowing with complete certainty that what you wish for already exists, and that you are simply in the process of witnessing it materialize. This approach shifts our perspective from one of lack and longing to one of fulfillment and possession. When you assume something, you are not merely entertaining a fleeting idea or daydream. Assumption is about taking that desire and living as though it is already a part of your current reality. It is a deep, unwavering belief that moves beyond hope or wishful thinking. Think about it like this: when you assume that something is true, you no longer question it. It becomes a fact in your mind. For instance, when you wake up in the morning and see the sun rising, you don't question whether the sun is truly there. You simply assume its presence because you trust in its existence. This is the same mindset you must adopt when it comes to your desires. To assume that your desire is already fulfilled, you must stop looking for external evidence. The world around you may seem unchanged at first, but this is irrelevant. What matters is that, internally, you have shifted your perception. You have planted the seed of your wish in the soil of your consciousness, and just as with any seed, you must give it time to grow. The external world will eventually reflect your inner belief, but it begins with the assumption that what you desire is already here. This principle is not about ignoring reality or pretending that things are different than they are. It is about recognizing that the external world is a mirror, reflecting back to us the state of our inner world. When you assume the fulfillment of your desire, you are actively shifting your inner world, and in doing so, the outer world must eventually conform. It may take time for the physical manifestation to appear, but it will, because the universe cannot help but align with your belief. One of the most important components of this process is feeling. It is not enough to simply think about your desire. You must feel it deeply, as though it has already come to pass. Emotion is the fuel that powers the engine of manifestation. It is the bridge between the world of thought and the world of form. Without feeling, thoughts remain abstract and disconnected from reality. But when you feel something deeply, you bring it into focus, giving it life and substance. Consider for a moment the emotions you experience when you achieve something you've longed for. There is a sense of joy, satisfaction, and often relief. These emotions are not tied to the external event itself, but to your internal response to it. The key to manifestation is learning to feel those emotions before the external event occurs. When you do this, you create a powerful magnetic force that draws your desire toward you. Many people make the mistake of waiting for the external world to give them a reason to feel a certain way. They say, "I'll be happy when I get that promotion," or "I'll feel loved when I find the right partner." But this mindset places power outside of yourself, making you a passive observer of your life. The truth is that you can feel those emotions now, regardless of your external circumstances. And when you do, you align yourself with the reality you wish to create. This is why feeling is so essential in the manifestation process. It acts as a signal to the universe, telling it what to bring into your experience. When you feel as though your wish is already fulfilled, you are broadcasting a frequency of completion, and the universe responds by aligning your reality with that frequency. It is not about faking your emotions or forcing yourself to feel something you don't truly believe. It is about genuinely tapping into the emotional state that corresponds with the fulfillment of your desire. To live as though your desire is already fulfilled, you must first become intimately familiar with the feeling of having it. How would you feel if your wish were already a reality? How would you carry yourself? How would you approach each day? These are important questions to ask yourself, because the answers will guide you in embodying the state of fulfillment. Living in the end means thinking, feeling, and acting as if your desire is a present reality. It requires you to step out of the mindset of longing and into the mindset of possession. Many people get stuck in a cycle of wanting, always focused on what they don't have. But this focus on lack only perpetuates more lack. When you live in the end, you bypass the feeling of wanting altogether and move directly into the feeling of having. Let's take an example to illustrate this concept. Imagine you desire a new job one that pays better and offers more fulfillment. Instead of focusing on how much you dislike your current job or how difficult it is to find a new one, shift your focus to the feeling of already having that new job. Picture yourself walking into your ideal workplace. Feel the sense of pride and accomplishment as you take on new responsibilities. Experience the satisfaction of receiving a higher paycheck. When you live in this state of mind consistently, you begin to align your inner world with the reality of having that job, and soon opportunities will arise that lead you toward it. The challenge for many people is maintaining this mindset, especially when the external world seems unchanged. It can be tempting to fall back into old patterns of doubt and worry. But the key to living in the end is persistence. You must continue to embody the state of fulfillment, even when there is no visible evidence that your desire is on its way. The external world is slow to change, but it will change if you remain steadfast in your belief. The law of consciousness underpins all of this. It is the foundation upon which reality is built. Your consciousness, the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you feel shapes the world around you. Every experience you have, every person you meet, every situation you encounter is a reflection of your inner state of being. This is why changing your consciousness is the most powerful tool you have in creating the life you want. If you believe that the world is a hostile place full of struggle and hardship, that belief will manifest in your life. You will encounter situations that reinforce your belief, and those situations will, in turn, deepen your conviction. This is the cycle of consciousness. What you believe becomes your reality, and your reality reinforces what you believe. But the beauty of this law is that it works both ways. Just as negative beliefs can create negative experiences, positive beliefs can create positive experiences. When you shift your consciousness to align with the reality of your desire, the outer world must follow. This is not a matter of chance or luck. It is a universal law. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting back the state of your inner consciousness. If you want to change the reflection, you must first change what is being projected. This is why it is so important to be aware of your thoughts and emotions. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold contributes to the creation of your reality. Many people go through life on autopilot, unaware of the power they wield. They allow negative thoughts and emotions to dominate their consciousness, not realizing that they are shaping their reality in the process. But once you become aware of this law, you gain control over your life. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of circumstance. When you understand the law of consciousness, you no longer wait for the world to change so that you can feel fulfilled. You know that fulfillment comes from within, and that the external world will shift to match your inner state. This is a profound realization, one that can transform every aspect of your life. It frees you from the need to chase after things or force outcomes. Instead, you focus on aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to create, knowing that the outer world will inevitably conform. The present moment is where all creation takes place. Many people spend their lives either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But the past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. The only moment that truly exists is now, and it is in this moment that you have the power to shape your reality. When you focus on the present, you free yourself from the limitations of the past. You are no longer bound by old patterns of thought or behavior. You can choose in this moment to align your consciousness with the reality you desire. This is the essence of living in the now. It is about recognizing that the present is where your power lies. The challenge for many people is that they are so conditioned to look to the past for validation or to the future for hope that they miss the opportunity to create in the present. They hold on to memories of past failures or anxieties about future uncertainties, and in doing so, they create more of the same. But when you focus on the present, you step into the role of creator. You become fully aware of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and you can consciously choose to align them with the reality you wish to experience. This is not to say that you should ignore the past or disregard the future. But it is important to remember that the past is only relevant to the extent that you allow it to be. If you continue to dwell on past disappointments or mistakes, you will carry those experiences into the present. Similarly, if you are constantly focused on the future, waiting for some external event to bring you happiness or fulfillment, you will miss the opportunity to create that happiness in the now. When you shift your focus to the present moment, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You are no longer limited by what has happened or what might happen. You are fully engaged in the process of creation, shaping your reality with each thought, feeling, and belief. This is where your power lies in the present, where you can consciously choose to align with the fulfillment of your desires. In the manifestation process, one of the greatest obstacles people face is the need to control the how. We are often so focused on figuring out the exact steps that will lead to the fulfillment of our desires that we lose sight of the bigger picture. But this need for control is rooted in doubt and fear. When you truly believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you do not need to worry about how it will happen. You trust that the universe is arranging the circumstances necessary to bring your desire into physical form. The how is not your concern. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to trust in the process. This is a difficult concept for many to grasp, especially in a world that emphasizes planning and control. But when you let go of the need to control the outcome, you allow the universe to work its magic. Consider the example of a river flowing toward the ocean. The river does not question how it will reach its destination. It does not try to control the direction or the speed of the flow. It simply follows the path that has been laid out for it, trusting that it will reach the ocean in due time. In the same way, you must trust that the path to your desire is unfolding, even if you cannot see it clearly at the moment. Letting go of the how does not mean giving up on your desire or being passive in the process. It means trusting that the universe is orchestrating the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest, and that your role is to remain aligned with the feeling of fulfillment. When you release the need to control, you free yourself from the anxiety and doubt that often accompany the manifestation process. You become more open to unexpected opportunities and synchronicities that can lead you toward your goal. Trust is a key element of manifestation. You must trust in yourself, in the process, and in the universe. Trust that your desire is already fulfilled, even if you cannot see the evidence yet. This trust allows you to remain focused on the end result, rather than getting bogged down by the details of how it will come to pass. It allows you to move through life with a sense of ease and flow, knowing that everything is working in your favor. The importance of faith in the manifestation process cannot be overstated. Faith is the unwavering belief in the unseen, the knowing that what you desire is already on its way to you, even if there is no physical evidence of it yet. Faith is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about a deep inner conviction that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition. This kind of faith allows you to remain calm and centered, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. When you have faith in the manifestation process, you are able to move through life with a sense of trust and ease. You no longer feel the need to force or control outcomes because you understand that the universe has a plan for how your desires will manifest. Faith allows you to let go of the need for immediate results, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. It gives you the patience to allow the process to unfold naturally, without interference from doubt or fear. One of the biggest challenges people face when manifesting their desires is the temptation to give up when results do not appear immediately. It is easy to get discouraged when you do not see any evidence of your desire in the external world. But faith is what carries you through these moments of doubt. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded in the knowing that your desire is on its way, even if you cannot yet see it. Faith allows you to hold on to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, even when the outer world seems unchanged. Faith is not passive, it is active. It requires you to take ownership of your thoughts and emotions, to actively align yourself with the reality of your desire. It means choosing to believe in the outcome you want, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. This is not always easy, especially in a world that places so much emphasis on logic and evidence. But faith operates on a different level. It does not require proof, it only requires belief. When you have faith, you are able to maintain a state of inner peace, even in the face of adversity. You trust that everything is happening for your highest good and that the universe is aligning circumstances to bring your desires to fruition. This trust allows you to stay focused on your goal rather than getting distracted by temporary setbacks or challenges. Faith gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. To embody the wish fulfilled means to not only believe that your desire is already yours, but to also live as though it is a present reality. This is a critical aspect of the manifestation process because it shifts your energy from one of lack to one of abundance. When you embody the wish fulfilled, you are no longer waiting for your desire to manifest, you are living as though it already has. This subtle shift in consciousness has a profound impact on your reality. Think about how you would feel and act if your desire were already fulfilled. Would you carry yourself with more confidence? Would you approach your day with more joy and enthusiasm? When you embody the wish fulfilled, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality of having what you desire. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic field that attracts your desire to you. Embodying the wish fulfilled requires you to step into the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself into a state of mind that feels unnatural. Instead, it is about deeply connecting with the feeling of having what you want and allowing that feeling to guide your actions and decisions. When you embody the wish fulfilled, you are no longer focused on the absence of what you want. Instead, you are focused on the presence of it in your life. This practice is especially important when it comes to overcoming limiting beliefs. Many people hold deep-seated beliefs that they are not worthy of their desires or that what they want is impossible to achieve. These beliefs create a sense of separation between where they are and where they want to be. But when you embody the wish fulfilled, you dissolve that separation. You begin to see yourself as the person who already has what you desire, and this shift in identity allows your desire to manifest more easily. Living in this state of fulfillment also changes the way you interact with the world. When you believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you approach life with a sense of gratitude and appreciation. You are no longer chasing after things or feeling frustrated by their absence. Instead, you are able to enjoy the present moment, knowing that everything you want is on its way to you. This state of gratitude is a powerful force that amplifies your ability to manifest your desires. Shifting your inner consciousness is the key to changing your outer reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are the foundation upon which your life is built. If you want to change your external circumstances, you must first change what is happening within. This requires a deep level of self-awareness and the willingness to examine the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping your reality. Many people go through life unaware of the power that consciousness holds. They allow their thoughts to run on autopilot, reacting to external circumstances rather than consciously shaping them. But the truth is that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner state. If you want to see different results in your life, you must first shift your consciousness to align with the reality you desire. Shifting your consciousness begins with becoming aware of the thoughts and beliefs that are currently shaping your reality. What do you believe about yourself and your ability to manifest your desires? Do you believe that you are worthy of success and happiness? Or do you hold limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in patterns of lack and struggle? These beliefs are often deeply ingrained, and it takes time and effort to change them. But once you become aware of them, you can begin the process of shifting your consciousness. One of the most effective ways to shift your consciousness is through the practice of visualization. Visualization allows you to mentally rehearse the reality you want to create. By vividly imagining yourself living in the state of your wish fulfilled, you begin to rewire your brain to align with that reality. Visualization helps you to embody the feelings and emotions associated with having what you desire, and this shifts your consciousness in a powerful way. Affirmations are another tool for shifting consciousness. By repeating positive statements that affirm the reality you want to create, you can begin to replace negative or limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirmations help to reprogram your subconscious mind, which plays a crucial role in shaping your reality. When you consistently feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, you create a new inner narrative that aligns with the life you want to live. Meditation is also a powerful tool for shifting consciousness. It allows you to quiet the mind and tap into a deeper level of awareness. Through meditation, you can connect with the infinite potential that exists within you and begin to release the thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you. Meditation helps you to cultivate a state of inner peace and clarity, which is essential for manifesting your desires. The process of shifting consciousness is not always easy, especially if you are working to overcome deeply ingrained beliefs. But with consistent practice, you can begin to change the way you think and feel, and this will ultimately change the way you experience the world. When you shift your inner consciousness, you create a new vibrational frequency that attracts different people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. Many people operate from a place of fear and lack, always focusing on what they don't have or what they are afraid of losing. But when you shift your consciousness to one of abundance, you begin to see the world as a place of limitless possibilities. You start to notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles, and you begin to attract more of what you want into your life. Persistence is one of the most important elements of the manifestation process. It is not enough to visualize your desires or to embody the wish fulfilled for a short period of time. You must persist in the assumption that your desire is already a reality, even when the outer world seems unchanged. This requires a level of dedication and commitment that goes beyond mere wishing or hoping. The reason persistence is so important is that the physical world often takes time to catch up with your inner reality. Manifestation is not always instantaneous, and there may be periods where it seems like nothing is happening. During these times, it is easy to fall back into old patterns of doubt and fear. But persistence is what allows you to maintain your focus and keep your energy aligned with the outcome you want. Persistence is not about forcing or pushing. It is about holding on to the feeling of the wish fulfilled and trusting that the universe is working on your behalf. It is about maintaining your faith and belief, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. This kind of persistence requires inner strength and resilience, especially in the face of challenges or setbacks. And one of the biggest obstacles to persistence is the temptation to give up too soon. Many people abandon their desires when they don't see immediate results, thinking that manifestation doesn't work or that they are doing something wrong. But manifestation is a process, and it often takes time for the physical world to align with your inner vision. If you give up too soon, you cut off the flow of energy that is bringing your desire to you. Persistence also requires you to be consistent in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is not enough to visualize your desire once or twice and then forget about it. You must continually align yourself with the reality you want to create. This means regularly checking in with yourself to ensure that your thoughts and emotions are in harmony with your desire. It also means taking inspired action when opportunities arise, rather than sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Another aspect of persistence is the ability to stay focused on your desire, even in the face of distractions or competing priorities. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to get sidetracked by external demands and lose sight of your goals. But persistence requires you to stay committed to your vision, even when life gets busy or challenging. This doesn't mean that you should neglect other areas of your life, but it does mean that you should make your desire a priority and continue to nurture it. Persistence also involves patience. It is natural to want immediate results, but the manifestation process doesn't always work on our timeline. There may be delays or obstacles along the way, but these are often necessary parts of the process. Sometimes what appears to be a setback is actually a detour that is leading you to something even better. Persistence requires you to trust the timing of the universe and to remain patient as your desire unfolds. Finally, persistence involves the ability to remain flexible and open to new possibilities. The path to your desire may not always unfold in the way you expect. There may be unexpected twists and turns, but these are often opportunities in disguise. Persistence requires you to stay open to new ideas and solutions, even if they don't fit with your original plan. By remaining flexible, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in the best possible way. Ultimately, persistence is about staying committed to your vision, no matter what. It is about continuing to align yourself with the reality you want to create, even in the face of doubt or adversity. When you persist in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, you create a powerful momentum that cannot be stopped. The universe must respond to your unwavering belief, and eventually your desire will manifest in your life. The journey of manifesting desires is a deeply personal one, but it operates on universal principles that apply to every person, no matter their background, circumstances, or beliefs. As you continue to immerse yourself in this process, you will begin to understand that the most profound transformations occur not in the physical world around you, but within the depths of your own consciousness. The outer world, as beautiful or challenging as it may seem, is merely a reflection of what you hold true inside. The power to shape your destiny lies in the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the beliefs you feel, and the beliefs you nurture. Many people live their lives as if they are at the mercy of circumstances. They feel as though life is happening to them rather than through them. But once you realize that you are not a passive participant in the game of life, everything changes. The idea that life is responding to you, not the other way around, is a fundamental shift in understanding that can empower you beyond measure. This realization is the key to unlocking your potential as a conscious creator. To manifest your desires, you must become intimately acquainted with the inner workings of your mind. The mind, for most people, operates in habitual patterns. These patterns were often established in childhood, shaped by family, society, and life experiences. While many of these patterns are useful, such as learning how to tie your shoes or drive a car, others can limit your potential. Limiting beliefs, often ingrained so deeply that you're unaware of them, can sabotage your efforts at creating the life you want. Limiting beliefs are like invisible barriers that keep you from realizing your true potential. They manifest as thoughts such as, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve success, or things never work out for me. These beliefs may have been passed down from parents, teachers, or peers, but over time you accepted them as truth. The problem is, once a belief is accepted as true, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you are not worthy of success, you will unconsciously act in ways that prevent success from coming into your life. If you believe that life is hard and full of struggle, you will attract situations that reinforce that belief. The good news is that beliefs can be changed. Just as they were learned, they can be unlearned and replaced with new, empowering beliefs that support your goals and desires. This process requires introspection and the willingness to challenge the thoughts that arise in your mind. Every time you notice a limiting belief, ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have evidence to support this belief? Or have I simply accepted it without question by question your beliefs? You begin to weaken their hold on you. Eventually, you can replace them with beliefs that are more aligned with the reality you want to create. One of the most effective ways to replace limiting beliefs is through the power of repetition. Your mind is like a garden, and your beliefs are the seeds you plant. If you consistently water the seeds of limiting beliefs, they will grow into weeds that choke the garden of your consciousness. But if you plant seeds of empowering beliefs and water them consistently with positive thoughts and emotions, they will grow into beautiful flowers that enhance every aspect of your life. Affirmations are one of the most powerful tools you can use to reprogram your mind and replace limiting beliefs. An affirmation is a positive statement that affirms the reality you want to create. When you repeat an affirmation regularly, it begins to take root in your subconscious mind. Over time, the affirmation becomes a belief, and that belief shapes your reality. For example, if you want to manifest financial abundance, you might use affirmations such as, I am abundant in all areas of my life, or money flows to me easily and effortlessly at first. These statements might feel uncomfortable or untrue. This is because your current beliefs about money may be rooted in lack and struggle. But the more you repeat the affirmations, the more your subconscious mind will begin to accept them as true. Eventually, your thoughts and actions will align with your new beliefs, and you will begin to attract opportunities for financial abundance. The key to using affirmations effectively is to not only repeat them, but to feel them. It's not enough to say the words mechanically, you must infuse them with emotion. When you say, I am abundant, allow yourself to feel the joy, freedom, and security that come with abundance. Visualize what your life would look like if you were already living in that state of abundance. The combination of positive emotion and repetition is what makes affirmation so powerful. Visualization is another tool that can help you shift your consciousness and manifest your desires. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. This is why you can watch a movie and feel emotions as if you were actually experiencing the events on screen. When you visualize your desires as though they have already manifested, you send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. This signal begins to reshape your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions to align with the reality you want to create. When you meditate, you create a space for new ideas, insights, and inspirations to flow into your consciousness. These ideas often come from a place beyond the logical mind, and they can guide you toward the fulfillment of your desires in ways that you would never have considered. Meditation also helps you to release resistance and attachment to specific outcomes, which is crucial for allowing the manifestation process to unfold naturally. As you meditate, focus on your breath and allow your thoughts to come and go without attachment. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring your attention back to your breath. With practice, you will begin to experience moments of deep stillness and inner peace. It is in these moments that you can connect with the infinite intelligence of the universe and receive guidance on how to move forward in your manifestation process. In addition to the mental and emotional work involved in manifestation, there is also an element of action. Many people misunderstand the concept of manifestation and think that it is purely a mental or spiritual process. While it is true that your thoughts and emotions are the foundation of your reality, action is what brings your desires into physical form. However, the action required in manifestation is not about forcing or struggling. It is about taking inspired action that feels aligned with your desire and flows naturally from your state of being. Inspired action is different from effortful action because it is fueled by joy, excitement, and intuition rather than fear or obligation. When you are aligned with the reality of your wish fulfilled, opportunities for inspired action will naturally present themselves. You might have a sudden idea, meet someone who can help you, or come across a resource that supports your goal. The key is to remain open and receptive to these opportunities and to act on them when they arise. Inspired action often feels effortless because it is in alignment with the flow of the universe. One of the reasons people struggle with manifestation is because they try to force things to happen before the timing is right. They feel the need to control every aspect of the process, which creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of energy. But when you take inspired action, you are allowing the universe to work through you. You are co-creating with the infinite intelligence that knows the best and most efficient way to bring your desires into reality. As you move forward in your manifestation journey, it is important to cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional states you can embody because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you are grateful for the blessings in your life, you send a signal to the universe that you are open to receiving more. Gratitude amplifies the energy of abundance and attracts more of what you want into your experience. To cultivate gratitude, take time each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for. These can be big things like a loving relationship or a successful career, or small things like a beautiful sunset or a kind word from a friend. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will begin to notice the many blessings that surround you. This shift in focus will raise your vibration and align you with the energy of your desires. To overcome feelings of unworthiness, it is essential to cultivate a deep sense of self-love and acceptance. This means honoring yourself as you are, without judgment or criticism. It means recognizing that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, simply because you exist. You do not need to earn your worthiness, it is inherent in who you are. As you cultivate self-love, you will naturally raise your vibration and attract more of what you want into your life. You will no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation from others. Instead, you will approach life from a place of confidence and inner peace, knowing that you are worthy of all the love, success, and abundance you desire. Self-love also involves taking care of yourself on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. This means nourishing your body with healthy food, getting enough rest, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. It also means setting boundaries and saying no to things that drain your energy or do not align with your values. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a powerful message to the universe that you value yourself and are open to receiving more of what you want. The process of manifesting your desires is not always linear. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty along the way. But these moments are part of the journey, and they offer valuable opportunities for growth and learning. When challenges arise, it is important to approach them with curiosity rather than resistance. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can this experience help me grow and align more fully with my desires? As you continue on this journey, remember that manifestation is not just about getting what you want. It is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It is about stepping into your power as a conscious creator and recognizing that you have the ability to shape your reality in ways you never thought possible. It is about cultivating a deeper connection with yourself, with the universe, and with the infinite potential that exists within you. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you, shaped by the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the beliefs you hold. Manifestation is not a distant possibility, but a present reality that you can tap into by shifting your consciousness and aligning with the truth that what you seek is already yours. By cultivating unwavering faith, embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and persistently holding that inner vision, you can shape your external world to reflect your deepest desires. As you practice living in the end, trusting the process, and taking inspired action, you will discover that the path to manifestation is as much about the inner transformation as it is about the outer results. With persistence, gratitude, and self-love, you become a co-creator with the universe, opening yourself to endless possibilities and the fulfillment of your dreams. Embrace the journey with patience and faith, knowing that everything you desire is not just possible, but inevitable when you align your mind, heart, and spirit with the flow of creation.